and we're gonna call that where I want to be. Welcome back to Darius's Budget Garage. Today we're going to be working on an anti-roll bar. Got one of these Amazon specials. I should have put this thing in long ago, but I've been really putting it off because it's been consistently like 95 degrees inside my garage. But I need to get this done. Yeah, we'll get into why. So I've been running this thing without an anti-roll bar, and let me tell you, it rolls. It rolls so bad that I have pretty much ruined one of my brand new 275 radials. That's a piece of the sidewall that goes right there. And we had another one bite off right there. So I guess since I ruined a brand new tire, and I actually ruined a bit of my fender here, that sucks too. I guess what better time than now to do this anti-roll bar deal. Got this guy on Amazon. It's pretty crappy quality. The welds are pretty shoddy, but I'm not grinding the crap off. It ain't gonna break. I do know that much. So we're gonna get on to setting this guy in here and go through the install on a Amazon anti-roll bar in my foxbody Mustang. God, it's 95 degrees in my garage at 6 at night in the friggin' Northwest, dude. It is hot. So, anyways, let's get going on this job. It ain't gonna get done talking about it. So for starters, we're just gonna loosely set this guy together. This comes with these little, whatever bearings that are gonna weld right to the frame. It was like, you know, gravel came out of these bearings when I took them out of the package. So, whatever, nothing a little grease won't fix. But anyways, first plan of attack is to, like I said, we're gonna set this guy together. I'm not sure if those guys go forward or backward, don't know. But we're gonna put this thing up in the car and we're gonna see roughly where it goes and of course, knock the paint off. So, I'm gonna get to it. Set this guy up in here on this side. It's kinda nice that it's not totally a tight fit. And I'm gonna mark there. Obviously we're going to the bottom and I'm gonna mark the front. And then, this, I'm gonna have to favor that down, and then this anti-roll bar is gonna hit somewhere there on the axle. And then somewhere there on the axle. And we're gonna grind the paint off the axle, grind the paint off the frame if you wanna call it that. And yeah, this should be a pretty simple job. Pull this guy down. So, problem is with this is once I put this thing in and tack it, it's never coming off again until I grind it off.
A few moments later.
I'm not gonna weld all the way around these bearing mounts or whatever. Probably going to weld the back of the car side and probably the bottom side. I may do a little bit up this opposite side, but I do want to make it so at some point I can remove this thing without totally destroying it, maybe be reusable. So yeah, so I guess this is the point where I actually put the sway bar in. And about that gravel coming out of these bearings earlier, this is the time that we stuff some grease in there. We grease it up, and that's the last time we're gonna look at it for the foreseeable future. So as you saw, I greased these guys, packed the bearings, if you'll say, and then put them on the sway bar, and I kind of worked them around. And then I chose, since this is not a sealed bearing, I got a bunch of extra grease in the bottom of these guys, because yeah, it's pretty much non-serviceable. So not that an anti-roll bar does a lot of moving, but I definitely want to keep some grease in there so it can move. I don't want these bearings to turn to total rust, which I expect they will sooner than later, but I'm just gonna do my due diligence and let the struggle begin. Got it cleaned up. The creeper was not being friendly to me, so I'll get on some solid ground. So as I'm holding this heavy bar up, it doesn't want to creeper doesn't want to roll away from where I want to be. I want to be as low as possible to keep these end links short. And we're going to call that where I want to be. That's pretty close. Then come over here, slide these guys out, and I like it, kinda. All right. Yeah, I've got a bit of a gap on top, actually a bit of a gap. I need to pull that over, actually, because I can see the bar is definitely misaligned going into that bearing. So I'm gonna work on that. The other side looks beautiful. So I'm gonna make him a little more permanent, and we're gonna keep going here. All right, well, I've got my bearing mounts are mounted. I got them about flush to the frame here because I believe I want this thing as low as possible. I've got my rod ends threaded out about as far as that you would want to do. I mean, it's only a, looks like a 3/8 or a 7/16 rod end here. So, you know, you want, rule of thumb, at least 1D, the diameter. You want that, at least that in depth. I probably have about 1.5 times the diameter, so I don't know. I probably got the rod end threaded in there about 5/8 of an inch, the most I'm comfortable with. I've got these guys in here pretty straight up, and then we've got our rod ends here. You saw me tighten that up. It is still loose, but I just wanted the tabs to be close to the right deal. I don't want them tight because when I weld them, the rod end will never fit till I bend these things back out, which it might still happen like that, but who knows. And then I've got this side on as well, straight, whatever. That bearing mount is on there good too. So I do not have the axle at ride height right now, so I am gonna grab the floor jack and I'm gonna put him under him and I'm gonna jack it up, make sure my rod ends, I don't have any clearance issues. I can already see that my fuel lines are touching there, but I think I just have to reattach the fuel line some other way. As you can see, it's still all just zip tied right now because until everything's golden on this thing, I haven't made anything real permanent or real nice. Well, I've made some pretty nice stuff, but I haven't made the plumbing very nice, I guess I'd say. So I'm gonna grab the floor jack this guy up, and we're gonna see, make sure it looks like everything's gonna clear. And we'll burn this thing permanent, get some, if I get the paint out fast enough, we can call it powder coat. So I'm gonna keep moving forward. It is hot. I'm sweating my off. Well, I've got my bearing mounts welded. Came out pretty good. I really just had an icky feeling, like I should have, about my fuel lines being right here. They aren't steel. They are freaking CPE or whatever that stuff is. I wasn't sure about the fire resistance of that. I'm sure there is none. There's freaking fuel in it. So I opted to put some gloves on the fuel lines. All right, got this thing buttoned up. I'm gonna throw some paint at this guy. We're gonna call it powder coat because it's still smoking hot. And yeah, this job is done. Yeah, and now I get to buy another new tire because that tire is not gonna survive. I don't trust that thing to go 150 miles an hour because it's got severe damage. So, get some paint on this guy, get it bolted back up, show you the results. And then down the road, we're gonna do a little testing and get this thing from rolling over and get it going straight. Well, there it is. Anti-roll bar all installed. And that'll conclude the anti-roll bar installation. Yeah, one step closer to going fast and not screwing up parts. And to go fast, you gotta go straight. And to go straight, you gotta stay level. And, well, that's the theory. Anyways, we'll see you on the next one.